I'm Ray.
And I'm Jason.
And in this video, you're going to be taking a peek into our consultation that we had with Battle-Born batteries. So, as you know from our dry camping video and a couple of our boondocking videos, we have had a lot of problems with the one battery we had. Obviously, we know one battery isn't going to do anything for us, but we were already getting sick of running the generator all day, and we just knew we needed something else. So it was actually you guys, mostly, our Getaway gang, that kept saying, go talk to Battle-Born, go look at Battle-Born, go research Battle-Born. So we ended up actually running into them at the RVX conference in Salt Lake City, and we started asking them a ton of questions, and they basically said, you know, we do consultations, right? And we didn't. So it worked out perfectly because we knew we were going to Indiana, and we knew we were taking the 80, and their facility is in Reno. So they said, well, let's just do an in-person consultation since you're going to be over the area. So that is exactly what we did.
So we asked if we could record the consultation, and they said yes. So prior to heading over there, we quickly sent them some of our expectations and kind of what we would like to give them a little preparation, and we went over. So without further ado, let's cut to that.
Alright guys, well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. We're so pleased that the stars aligned and this all worked out for us to make it up to Reno. But our first question, I think just to clarify what we're doing here is we're having our consultation. And would you guys mind explaining who you are and what you do for Battle-Born?
Go ahead, Dennis.
I'm Dennis, and I'm the CEO of Battle-Born Batteries, and welcome both of you to Battle-Born Batteries.
Thank you.
I'm Sean Nichols. I'm the COO of Battle-Born Batteries, and it's nice to have Jason and Ray here from the Getaway couple in town to talk about a battery system that we're going to put in for them.
Yes.
We're not going to put it in, we're going to put it together for them.
Yes, exactly. So what information do you need to know from us?
There's a couple things we have to know. We have to know how much power you use. So typically that would mean a rundown of the types of appliances that you have and how often you use them, and also how you make your energy. Is it from the sun? Is it from your alternator? Is it from your generator?
Okay, so I guess we'll start with our RV is pretty factory standard, so I don't know exactly how much we use, but I know that I am one of those people that doesn't like to be inconvenienced. So I would like to power everything in our RV. So, you know, even
microwave,
within
hair dryer,
AC if we want it. I want to be able to power coffee maker.
So you want to be able to power a 50 amp service in this RV. This is a fifth wheel Grand Design trailer,
Grand Design
right?
Solitude, 50 amp service.
Okay, so we got two hots coming in two legs. We need to power both sides of the panel.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And then we currently don't have solar. We're looking into that for the future, but for now we'll just be using our generator to recharge the batteries, or shore power to recharge the batteries. We won't be charging it from our alternator, other than, I don't know if it gets charged now through the small trailer connection, if at all, but because it's a fifth wheel, it's not a direct alternator connection.
So the size of your bank will depend on what your lifestyle is like.
Yeah.
If you're often plugging in, that's a lot different than if you are often, boondocking and you don't want to be starting your generator that much. So when you are boondocking, the size of your bank will basically determine how often you start your generator.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And another thing to keep in mind is, as you both know, that RV parks are pretty full these days. There's not a lot of the infrastructure for RV parks is not growing as fast as the industry's growing. So it's important to have a system that you can actually boondock off of, or get some time off of shore power out there. So for minimum, if you're going to have a 50 amp service, you're going to need at least 6 batteries.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah, and we also want that as a fallback, because last year we've gotten pretty lax in our campground booking, and there was one holiday weekend that we were just literally driving around trying to find anywhere, like any campground, and we even said at this point, like that was our breaking point of we need we need a system. We need something to help out because we couldn't even like pull over for the night because we wouldn't have
You
power.
have pets too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you leave the rig for the day and you're boondocking, it's important to be able to make sure they're comfortable and safe too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the big driving factor for most of the things I get Ray to allow me to buy.
Yeah.
Is if it makes Carmen have a better life.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Carmen, that's your
that's
dog.
our
That's our
dog. Yeah.
dog.
And what kind of dog is she?
So she's a mutt. She's Doberman Pinscher mix. So
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you had her for?
4 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
She's a part of the family now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good,
Absolutely.
good. So we want to make sure Carmen's comfortable too. That's another
Yeah.
thing that's another benefit of having a lithium bank on board is that you can pull up somewhere and go into a restaurant and leave your pets in the back with the air conditioner running for a little bit to make sure that they stay comfortable and alive.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. It's hot. If you got to travel a lot in California, it gets hot.
Mhm.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why we want to be able to run at least one AC off our battery.
There's 2 ACs in there.
We have 2, yeah.
And you got one on each leg of the
I
50 amp service.
Yeah. I think
Yes,
that's how they said
yeah. And
Okay.
for us, I mean, we would like to be able to run our bedroom AC because that's where, if we're gone, Carmen will usually be sleeping in our bed, and then the living room, if we need it, we can start our generator. Worst case scenario, to be able to start that AC, but at least have the bedroom AC. And that's also the one before we go to sleep. Say we're out boondocking, we don't want to run our generator. We need to cool it down a couple degrees, run it for 20 minutes just to bring the temperature down in the bedroom.
So this is a pretty high power coach,
Yeah.
and you want to be able to operate off grid the same as how you're operating when you're plugged into a 50 amp service.
Not exactly the same. They'll still keep in mind different because they obviously don't have a limited amount of power.
Right. We know
right.
we'll have to
We get that.
recharge the battery, but we want to be able to.
You want the power.
I want the
Yeah.
power of being able to do that at any time, obviously within reason. So, like, I know it won't, like, I can't run an AC off grid for 25 hours
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I want to be able to run it for 20 minutes or be able to run it at all. 10 minutes, 5
Fine.
minutes.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to use a soft start on the air conditioner. Do you know what brand the air conditioners are?
It's a Coleman Mach 15.
Perfect. Well, we sell a soft start for that too from
Okay.
Micro Air.
Excellent.
It's called the Easy Start. It's a 3-ton. It knocks that 62 to 63 locked rotor amp startup that people never realize is on an AC.
Yeah.
That's when it's compressing.
Yeah.
It has a big spike in power. It knocks that down to about 27, 25, somewhere in that range. So it's now your inverters can handle it. In this system, we're going to use a dual inverter system. If you want to power both those legs, you need to have 2 inverters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And we recommend the Victron for that too.
Okay.
Yeah, so each one will be, it'll be over 2,000 watt, probably 3,000 watt inverter.
Okay.
We typically recommend for each 1,000 watts of inverter, 100 amp hours of 12 volt battery power.
Okay.
And just to give you an idea, you're running 2 air conditioners. Each air conditioner is going to run roughly for 1 hour for each 100 amp hour battery that you have.
Okay.
So there's kind of a
Okay.
rule of thumb for you.
Okay. That's good to know.
And another good thing is that these inverters will be hooked up to the bank together.
Mm-hmm.
So they're running 2 sides of the panel, but they're hooked to the same battery bank. So if you've got some stuff shut down and you're not running it, you can pull more of that power from this side longer.
Oh.
So I'm saying, so you don't have 3 hooked up to 1 and 3. The 6 batteries should be hooked up to both inverters.
Oh. Okay.
And that way you can pull from the same bank.
Okay, that
Okay,
makes sense.
that's good.
And then you'll be able to recharge really fast that way too, because you're gonna have 2 chargers at 120 amps. You'll be charging at 240 amps, which we could actually boost that up another 60 if you guys wanted to charge really fast. But your generator probably can't really do much more than that when it's running
Right.
the load. So
Yeah.
So this is probably a stupid question, but in regards to
No such
charging, in regards to charging, so when we're using power from the batteries, is it like all 6 would be going down at once, or is it like 1 battery and then 2, and then
No,
same
they're
with
all in
charging?
parallel, so they're actually
Okay.
sharing current. They would all be depleting and charging
Okay.
at the same time.
Cool.
Cool.
right, and so the cool thing is, if you start out with 6 and then later on you need to buy 2 more, our batteries are not like lead acid batteries. You do not need to replace the whole bank when you want to add 2 more or 4 more. If you decide you want more power,
Okay.
you can add more. Even 3 years from now, you'll lose like 2% of the whole total bank.
Okay.
Because the capacity difference in the amount you're cycling it, because you're using it almost every day. So you guys are like a daily user. So after 900 cycles, you might lose like 2 to 4% of the battery capacity. That's like 3 years from now. You could add 4. So in a year, if you say, look, I want to, because our batteries are not the most, they're not the least expensive batteries, I should say.
Okay.
Right.
But obviously they deliver a lot of power, and per cycle they're way cheaper now than lead acid. But we understand there's an investment cost in them. So the point is, you start out with 6 today, and you want to get to 8 or 10 later on, it's okay to add them in as you go.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. And then, so like comparing it to lead acid, we had one lead acid battery that just came from the dealership, and we weren't very good with our maintenance on it. Yeah, the one, it would literally die after we turned off the generator 5 hours later.
I don't think it would have mattered if you maintenance it or not. I mean, this is that one battery in a trailer that size is just not adequate to be able to power a real world off-grid situation.
Absolutely.
And the first time you've over-discharged it, you damaged it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure we've done multiple
So, which is what we're
times.
kind of scared of doing with our lithium. So what does the maintenance look like on, like...
0.
Oh.
There's no
You
maintenance.
have to just make sure, actually there is a little bit of maintenance you have to do. You have to make sure you tighten the terminals.
Okay.
Just check it every quarter and make sure the terminals are tight.
All right.
That's a very easy thing to do. You don't need to take the batteries out in the wintertime. You just need to charge. If you're going to winterize your rig, which you guys don't because you live in it, but if somebody out there, one of your listeners, wants to winterize their rig, charge up the battery bank and disconnect it and let it sit there. It has a very low self-discharge rate. So after the winter, you might have like 6-7% of the battery power gone.
Wow. Oh, that's
so they'll stay. You charge them up and let them sit.
Yeah.
You don't need to take them out at all. The cold weather, you can put it in -20. It won't do anything to the batteries at all.
Okay, so that's what we were going to ask, was how they did in cold weather, because we do eventually have plans to head up to Alaska. It would be in the summer, but we would want to stay kind of late into the year and leave
Try to see some
later.
northern lights.
Yeah. So
lithium-ion batteries in general aren't great in cold weather.
Okay.
So when you discharge a lithium-ion battery in cold weather, especially lithium iron phosphate, you do get less capacity than you do at room temperature. It's reversible, so when it warms up again, you get the full capacity again. That may not be a big deal. The bigger deal is charging lithium-ion batteries in cold weather. That could actually cause what's called lithium plating. That could actually lower the capacity over time of the battery. So it's not something that you need to worry about, because internal to our battery, we prevent charging when it's too cold. So there are internal protections there. But in terms of a convenience thing, when you are in cold temperature, the batteries obviously can be mounted inside, so they're going to be experiencing the same temperature that you're experiencing. There's no venting. You don't have to worry about production of gases or anything.
And I want to clarify one thing that Dennis said about lithium-ion batteries are not great at cold temperatures. They are still way better than lead acid. Let me tell you what. If you have a lead acid battery below 32 degrees, it has diminished over 60% of its capacity is unavailable at that point.
Yeah.
Our batteries maybe lose like 20% at 32 degrees.
Okay.
So even though they're not performing as well as they could be, every battery is going to lose a little bit of capacity when it gets cold or when it gets hot. I mean, even your cell phone won't work. If you're like out skiing or something like that, and you get out in the cold and your cell phone gets cold, it won't work the same way it does. That's because the electrolyte gets slowed down in there, and it just slows the battery down. But as far as the one thing you need to really be aware of is the cold temperature charging protection. If someone's going to buy a lithium battery, it needs to have that, because guess what? I don't know if you're going to go out there and check the temperature on your battery before you charge it. No one has ever done that with the lead acid battery. And let me tell you what, it ruins it just the same. The only difference is our battery has a brain inside that says, hey, I'm not going to let you do that so you don't damage your investment in our batteries.
Yeah, that's good, because we definitely would be paying attention to that. But that does bring up a good point. We'll probably think about putting the system inside the heated bay, because where it's now is not heated. Like the whole rest of our coach is like heated underneath, except for where the lead acid battery is right now.
But we would recommend that. Then you don't have to worry about it
at all.
Another heat source, which you could do, but that's
I would rather just if it's freezing outside, I would like to keep the whole coach and might as well use that heat to keep the batteries warm.
But also let's clarify the range where that happens at. So the battery doesn't take a charge below 25 degrees internal. 25 Fahrenheit. So it's got to be like really cold. I know you guys are thinking about getting cold. Even if you're at 32, our batteries are still working fine. It's got to go below 25. So around 40 degrees, 55, 45, 38 degrees. It's pretty chilly for RVing. You've got a lot of other things to be concerned about on the rig at that same time. Your water tanks and everything else. The batteries themselves will discharge well below 32 degrees also. So if you're in a situation where it gets too cold and you decide to pull out and take off,
Yeah.
in that morning you'll still have power available, take off somewhere else, and you can recharge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're from Los Angeles, so our freezing cold is like 55 degrees.
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing to worry about. I just wanted to
I think you're
clarify.
all right.
Right?
Yeah.
I wanted to clarify what we meant when we were saying cold temperatures. Like we really
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
extreme colds.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
That's an
Okay, that
extreme
makes sense.
cold for RVing, I think, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I did want to
Yeah.
ask what the minimum was, but then also you reminded me with you said some people put them inside, which we would probably want to put it, like you said, in our underbelly or in the storage that has ducting already. But we've kind of been trying to brush up and like see where people are putting them, and I've noticed that people are putting them like under their beds or under their like couch cushions and then even sideways. So is that fine? Like you can really put them
Yes.
anywhere? Is that safe? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
mount our batteries in any orientation because they have very little electrolyte inside, so it's not
Okay.
necessary that you can mount them any
There's
way you
nothing
want.
spilling or anything like
The
that.
main thing you need to
Okay.
do is make sure that if it's under your couch, make sure you cover the terminals, put some tape on them. That way, if someone drops a fork in there or something like that,
Okay.
you're not going to cause a short in your system. That's all.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
put them somewhere where they're accessible to children or people, they got to be covered up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whether you put a piece of plastic around it or something like that, like a Lexane or
Uh-huh.
a board, even a piece of plywood, just to make sure no one can drop anything in there. But people are putting them all over the place.
Yeah.
And then, as a matter of fact, on a fifth wheel like yours, a lot of people just put them in the garage because guess what? They never go where it's 32.
Yeah.
They just put them right there in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and then they put them in there. There's plenty of space in there. I mean,
Yeah.
where they have that one battery, I mean, you could fit 12 of our batteries up there in the front and
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
But now another thing I've seen on a Grand Design before.
Mhm.
If you do put them in the front, make sure you put a piece of like 3/4 inch plywood down because that area necessarily isn't reinforced for a ton of weight.
Right.
So if you're going to put like 6-volt lead acids down there, I've seen it buckle down below the frame. So just a point of reference, if you're going to beef up your battery bank, if
Yeah.
it's lead acid or lithium,
Yeah.
reinforce the floor. You'll be happy you did it. You'll get a lot more insulation from the heat and the cold of the ground that way too.
Yeah.
And since Sean did bring it up, if you do short circuit the batteries inadvertently, there is
Okay.
protection in our batteries so
Okay.
that it won't cause any damage.
Good.
There's short circuit protection, but still, if you're going to build an electrical system under a couch, there's still the inverter down there. There's a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
you just need to make sure those connections are covered up as best
Yeah.
as possible. It's just a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
And ventilation too. If you're going to put it in a closed compartment, you're going to want some
Yeah.
ventilation. If your inverter's in there. If your inverter's not in there and all it is the batteries, they don't need
Okay.
ventilation necessarily
The
because they're
inverters
not
get
going to
pretty
create their
Yeah.
own. They don't create very much
Oh,
heat at all.
okay.
Batteries don't get warm at all, but an inverter inherently creates heat because of what it's
Okay.
doing.
Right.
Okay. And also, I know I asked if they're safe, but you see those like fearful stories of lithium exploding and stuff like that. So you probably knew I was going to bring that up, but are they safe in that sense too? Or like, is there any
Well,
precautions we should take? Or
You don't have to take any precautions
Okay.
because we've taken all the precautions in terms
Okay.
of making a safe battery. So there's a couple things that you can do to make a safe battery on our end. And the
Okay.
first thing is the chemistry that you use. And the chemistry that we use, actually that you need in order to make a 12-volt battery, is lithium iron phosphate. Lithium iron phosphate basically can't easily undergo what's called thermal runaway. So using that chemistry, that is a huge deal. That's the safest chemistry. On top of that, the way that we design our packs is we have many individual little stainless steel cells. They're not in contact with each other. They're thermally insulated from each other.
Okay.
So in the worst case scenario that you actually have a cell that goes bad, which we have never yet observed with the millions of cells that we've implemented, we haven't seen one go bad.
Okay.
But in the case that it does, it wouldn't affect any of the neighboring cells. So
Okay.
And we take safety as our top priority here.
Okay.
We wouldn't deliver a product to the market that wasn't safe for someone to sleep on top of. I mean,
Yeah.
we actually never lose sleep over safety because we've got it so dialed in. We lose sleep over like keeping up with orders and getting our next product development out, things like that to make sure we
Yeah.
stay ahead of the industry. But safety's always been our number one priority. And we've gotten it right now, the way our battery's positioned, the pack, it works really well. We've never had a thermal event on the battery.
and we have been tested, third-party tested. We're
Oh.
UL listed, we're IEC listed, we're UN 38.3 listed. So I mean, we are basically the most listed battery on the market,
Okay.
highly tested.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Makes me feel a little.
Right, so you don't have to just take our word for it. We actually pay those guys, and that listing is done here in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not getting our batteries from China. I know there's a lot of rumors out there that we don't assemble them here, that we just say that. And if you listen in this video, you might be able to hear our welders running in the background. I'm not sure. I can certainly hear them. I hear them all day. Click, click, click. But anyway, the point is that our testing is all done at the Intertech lab in Plymouth, Michigan.
Okay.
It's done here in the U.S. battery lab. And I was just there actually this week, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I go there quite often and work with those guys.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. So I guess for our specific system, like one thing that I would really I like to monitor as much as I can. So we have the 4 lights on our battery thing, and it's
We call
horrible.
those the idiot lights.
Yeah, it's like either it's full
1/4,
or it's like our battery doesn't work. What can I get where I can monitor the lithium, or what do you guys recommend?
Well, I think you guys were kind of keen on the Victron stuff, so we'll go with that option for now. I mean, there's Magnum has battery monitoring too, just so you know. So we sell both brands. The Victron, the battery monitor, they have the BMV 712. It's monitors the battery bank. I could actually we can get screenshots for this video and show on the phone what it looks like from the demo library, but it shows you the state of charge. It'll show you the deepest discharge you've had on the batteries, how many cycles you've taken out of it. Shows you exactly what the voltage of the batteries are at that time. I think that it's a pretty nice app. And then they also have the color control, which can show you some things that are going on in your system.
Okay.
Color control is like a TV.
Yeah.
It only shows what you plug into it. So you
Yeah.
plug a DVD player into it, a cable box, you can view those things in there, right? So
Yeah.
color control can monitor your inverters. It'll tell you how much power is going into them. You can monitor your solar, all that stuff together. It can see all that on there. The what's coming in and going out, right? It monitors the traffic on the system. But the battery monitor can also monitor that stuff. So it all depends on how complex of a system you want to go with. Some people don't want to cut a hole in their RV, so they want to get the battery monitor, which you can stash below a cabinet, and you can see it on your telephone. Cool thing is, Victron just came out with a Bluetooth dongle for the inverter now too.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't want to do the color control, but that's like usually the top of the line system is the color control. Or I know Jason's pretty smart with computers here, so he might want to do the Venus GX, which is basically the color control on a computer.
Okay.
I think he's already got that figured out on the Raspberry Pi. Probably.
Yeah, I've been looking at all that, but my problem is Ray also. So everything, all my smart RV stuff that I think about is there's the technical side, and then I have to have the physical side. So I think I've seen the color control thing, and I think that's like the flashy for Ray.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's also good because you can walk up there and see what's going on, right?
Yeah.
You can still get in the back end of that.
Get alerts, get all my stuff, but then Ray gets the screen.
And I know a guy who's really into that stuff. I'm pretty sure you know him too. You know Matt Knight from Adventurous Way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's really into the Victron stuff, so I'm pretty sure he could tune you up on how to see what's going on with the color control and remotely with your computer if you're you're out of town working.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
I like having it right in front of me where I can see like, okay, where are we at? But he likes to be basically anywhere and wants to know
I want to have a computer monitoring it to tell me when it's out of ratios that I don't want it to be. Right?
And so you can do that stuff for sure.
Okay.
And Victron puts a lot of information, give you a lot of data. And that's what people want these days. That's the thing that sometimes manufacturers they're kind of getting up to speed on this stuff here, but they don't realize that people want data.
Yeah.
And so the cool thing about the Victron battery monitor, I mean, I'd recommend you do both because guess what? If you're sitting outside, hanging out with a dog, and just relaxing, right? You don't have to get up and go see what's going on with your battery bank. You can look at it on your phone.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice too.
That is nice.
Because you don't got to go up the stairs, and if he's in there taking a nap, you don't want to shake the RV, right? We all know he likes to take a lot of naps.
Yeah. He's always napping.
Yeah, and if I can get that data remotely, I don't even like to have to think about looking at the state of charge of my battery. I want it to alert me when it gets to a certain threshold, like, oh, hey, you're getting it 80%, 70%.
Right.
Like, let me know different levels. So, and you tell me when I need to make sure I run the generator or turn off the AC.
It is important for any battery monitor that you have a shunt-based monitor that's measuring the current going in and out of the battery rather than just the voltage. Of course, any monitor will measure the voltage, just like your stupid little lights. And it tries to estimate based on the voltage, but the best way to get capacity is amp hours used.
Okay.
How many amp hours?
And that's when you got that shunt, all the negatives of the system.
Yeah.
The battery bank, the inverter, the solar charge controller, anything that's putting power or taking power out of the system is connected to that shunt. It's just basically monitoring all the traffic.
And that reminds me too, like not being used to electronics. Like we had our dead battery, and I went and I tested it, and it said like 12.1 volts, and I was like, well, what's wrong with this thing? It's 12 volts. It's fine. It's fully charged. But of course, that's not how batteries work. And nothing was working.
A 12 volt battery is actually like a 13 volt battery.
Yeah.
A 12 volt solar panel is like actually 18 volts. And
yeah, it's electricity.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. It says it's 12 volts, 12.1. We're fully charged. It's above 12. But yeah, so amp hours makes more sense, especially if it's rated in amp hours. And I know how much I'm pulling out, like 600 amp hour or 6 batteries, 100 amp hours. How much did I use without recharging? Like, it just makes sense to me.
How much solar do you guys have?
None right now.
Are you thinking about putting some on too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I need to build my case for Ray, and
well, these are big investments and big decisions,
and we've this whole last year and a half.
So in this upgrade, you're not thinking about doing solar, or you are thinking about doing it? Okay.
Very, very soon.
Good. So being able to charge really quickly. So this is a good thing because a lot of people think they want solar too, and they can get it. That's fine, but you're right. It isn't an extra investment. If you got a nice generator on board and you can recharge very rapidly off your battery bank, I mean, the total cost of ownership of your generator goes way down. Because if you're running your generator for 12 hours to charge 4 lead-acid batteries, and you can charge them in about 2 or 3 hours on lithium, you're using the same amount of fuel to do it regardless.
Well, and for us, because we don't even have an inverter right now, we go boondocking, and our generator is going from 5 a.m. when I start work, East Coast, 8 o'clock, until 11 p.m. when we finish with Netflix and go to sleep. So it runs all day.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Because no inverter.
You guys are going to love this upgrade.
Yeah. If you decide to go with the dual inverter, and it's going to change your whole life.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And so the first 2 years on the road, we've been... So I've wanted this since day one. But Ray, the smart financial one, tempers my expectations. And so we've been putting money away to save for this.
Wild man.
Yeah. And
I just
she's
want a
right.
need.
We've been
Before we buy something, I want a need for it.
We went campground to campground for our full first year on the road because we had never RV'd before, and that's what we planned to do. And so she rightfully told me I didn't need a big battery bank or inverters because we were literally driving from campground to campground. But now
you're pros.
Now
you're going to do it right.
Yes. Yeah. Kyle and Olivia got us out boondocking once. And so I love it. I love being able to...
Kyle and Olivia from Driving and Vibing.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite people. They're nice people.
They forced us out, and so I love it. And now Ray has seen the...
benefits of boondocking. Yeah.
So...
And it fits with our schedule now. We're kind of getting tired of going campground to campground, and we're getting, as I said, a lot more lax on making reservations. So it's nice to just know that we can...
You'll become an actual nomad.
Yeah.
That's going to save you money, too, to
it will.
Be on the campground.
Did you know that's our company motto from Battleborn, right? Mm-hmm. Get out there and stay out there.
Right.
So we want you to be able to, get out there and stay out there longer is what we really do. Because everybody, when people want to buy a trailer, they see all these commercials and stuff, like, I'm going to take this trailer and park it next to a river and all this other stuff, but like, that isn't the real world scenario with the power system that's delivered by the manufacturer or by the dealership. No. But with the system that we're going to help you guys build here, that we're going to design for you, I'm telling you right now, you'll be able to take this thing and park it anywhere you can park it. And you stay there for a few days and relax and enjoy yourself for free.
And run everything.
Run everything. Get on some of that BLM land. Get some of that free camping.
I know. Yeah. There's so much of it out here. I guess for us, it's... they're big investments, but one of the things that you think about when you make a big purchase, it's buy once, cry once kind of thing. You generally want to know, how long is it going to last you? Or if you have a problem... how long can I have a problem and still not have to cry again by purchasing a new system? So, what's your guys' warranty, I guess?
Great. It's a great question. You want to tell them? Best warranty on the planet when it comes to lithium batteries?
We have an 8-year full replacement warranty and then an extra 2 years partial replacement, 30%.
So it's a 10-year warranty, and if you read the terms of it, it's actually a real warranty. There's a lot of people out there that say they have a longer warranty than us, but when you start reading it, they don't cover anything.
Yeah.
We actually back our product. And if someone's selling a lithium battery with less than a 10-year warranty on it, they shouldn't be selling it.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
is that how long, I guess, should we expect these batteries?
So we've done a lot of testing on longevity. Initially we started out at a 3-year warranty because that was kind of industry standard. Then we had been selling batteries for a while. We got some back, we cycled them, and we said, okay, these are really performing to spec, and we felt a lot more comfortable doing it. So what is to spec? If you cycle a battery completely, like completely empty, completely full, repeatedly, over and over and over again, we anticipate, based on a 3-hour to 10-hour, 20-hour discharge charge rate, that the average degradation is going to be about 20% after somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 cycles. 1,000 cycles. So
75 to 80% of the power left after you used it 3,000 to 5,000 times.
So if you cycle it completely every day, that's 10 years, and so
that's 3,650 cycles.
10-year warranty.
Right.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So we want you to feel comfortable to use
Yeah.
this product because we back it. We back the product.
Yeah.
Go out there and use it. Get out there, check it out. It
Yeah.
works great. We're not beta testing people with our lithium batteries.
Right.
We have thousands and thousands of batteries out in the field now, and people love them.
Yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, give us a call.
Okay.
Somebody here will pick up the phone,
Yeah.
and we're always here to help.
That just reminded me when you were saying cycles. I have heard that you can take lithium down to 0%.
Good.
Is that true, and is that recommended?
That's a good question.
That's a good question because there's a myth out there about this. People say you can only discharge lithium 80%. Let me tell you who made up that myth.
Lead acid.
No.
Big lead acid.
Companies who use prismatic cells.
Mm-hmm.
We use cylindrical cells. You can discharge them deeper. Prismatic cells, the only way, it's a big block battery. There's guys out there that sell, lots of companies sell them. Lots of our competitors sell batteries made out of prismatic pouch cells. They're a big block. It's a cell, so you have 4 in there.
Yeah.
Our battery has 120 cells in our 100 amp hour battery. The difference is the only way they can quote a large cycle, they quote 2,000 cycles at 80% depth of discharge.
Right.
So now you're doing the same thing lead acid's doing. And we can talk about lead acid capacity if you want me to nerd out on that for a little bit, because I got a lot to say about that topic. Because they say you can use 50% of that battery power.
Right.
We could do a whole nother video about that. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Based on the Pukert effect, you'd be lucky to get 20% out of your lead acid battery based on the load size. So the prismatic cells, so yes, our cells, 100 amp hour battery, you can pull 97 amp hours out of it.
Okay.
So about 90, well above 80%
Yeah.
of the power you're going to pull out.
Okay.
But I do want to clarify, because a lot of people have said, I thought you can't take lithium-ion cells down to 0.
Yeah.
That's true. You can't take them down to 0 volts.
Okay.
Our battery management system doesn't allow you to get it down to 0 volts.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
You
Will.
still get the power delivered though.
But when we say 100 amp hours, that's not down to 0 volts. That's
Got it.
down to our cutoff
Gotcha.
and up to our cutoff. That's the
Okay.
allowable, usable
Okay.
energy is 100 amp
That
hours.
makes
So
sense.
it wouldn't be dangerous to bring it down to 0 or bad for the battery? Or,
No, you take
Okay.
it down, and what happens is the battery management system will prevent you from discharging anymore. It'll
Okay.
always allow you to charge,
Right.
but you can't discharge it anymore. So a
Okay.
lot of people, I want to mention this actually, if it goes down and the battery's cut off because they've used the entire 100 amp hours, if you measure with a voltmeter, you measure the voltage, it'll say something completely meaningless like 2 volts or 6 volts, and people will be like, oh, I thought this is supposed to protect the battery. It's because it won't even allow the voltmeter from measuring the voltage.
Oh,
So
wow.
what you do is just give it a voltage, it'll charge up, it'll take
And
the
the
power.
equipment that we
Okay.
would design in your system can charge the batteries from 0 if they get ran down that far. But we also put a lot of cutoffs in that shut the loads off.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
program the devices probably because we want to shut the loads off before the batteries turn off. Just that way you don't. It's just a smarter way to do the system, right?
Yeah.
That way you know, but you still get all the power out. That's the thing that we fight that myth all the time because people always say, "Oh, you can discharge lithium 80%." Yeah, you can even go deeper than that if you have the right cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people don't
Okay.
realize. It makes a difference. The cell
Yeah.
technology.
Right.
Yeah.
We've cycled all kinds of different cells during our research phase when we were designing the battery. We cycled the pouch cells, the big prismatic cells, the small cylindrical cells, the larger cylindrical cells, and we basically settled on the cell size that and the cell production manufacturing techniques that led to the best quality longest lasting cells.
So the thing is, you're asking, can I hurt the battery by doing that? Let me tell you that there's one thing that will shorten the lifespan of your battery way more than deep discharging or rapid discharging, which is faster than 0.5 C rate charging. So if you have 6 batteries and you're charging more than 300 amps, which is almost nearly impossible to do because the equipment doesn't exist, and your generator can't power it. There's a lot of things that happen that way, but either way, if you have one battery, you can charge it at 50 amps. That's what we recommend. If you want to charge it at 100, you can, but you'll shorten the lifespan of it. That's the only thing that would shorten it faster than, but deep discharging and rapid discharging, don't worry about it. Just use the batteries. They work fine. You're not going to damage them.
And as far as like what kind of products we're considering for our system, would we be able to monitor that and make sure we're not damaging in that way, or?
You're never going to, well, the way your charging set up from what we had, the conversation that we've had, I mean, you'd have to get an extra charger on top of the 2 inverters you're using because you don't have unless you keep your standard converter, even that's probably like a 55 or 60 amp converter. It's on the rig now. Still not going to put you over 300.
Yeah. Do you need like, so the Victron is a multi thing, right? So it's a charger.
Multi plus inverter charger,
Yeah, inverter charger. So do you need a special charger for lithium, or would we be able to use we have like a WIFCO, WFCO charger?
Well, I'd recommend you leave that converter on board. So if you are running the generator, it puts that extra power in, but it's not necessary. It does. The profile that's on that unit is 13.6, and then it boosts to like 14.4 every once in a while, and sometimes drops down to 13.2. It will never hurt our batteries. There's no converter in the market that will hurt our batteries. It won't charge them as fast as they can. So the Victrons, when we actually, that's another thing that we do. When we sell you a Victron inverter, if you allow us to do it, we'll program it for you. So when it comes out of the box, we programmed it here.
Oh, that's awesome.
With the parameters. And if you want to do it yourself, you can buy the equipment. We'll send you the screenshots.
Yeah.
A lot of guys will charge you like an extra $100 to program a Victron inverter. For me, that's just part of the service. Like, I'm selling you this product. I just give it to you in the way it's supposed to work. If you want to do it yourself, I'll give you the information on how to do that too. So if you guys decide to go with Victron and you want to show your viewers how they're programmed, we'll provide you the screenshots of how we programmed it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so no messing around and all the configuration files.
Well, I already know you're going to go in there and mess around.
Well, of course, I'm going to.
But I'm not worried about that. It's like, hey, we'll give you the screenshots and we can talk about it. You can call me. You got my number. You can call me up. We'll talk about it and say, hey, this is why this setting's set this certain way, and there might be something that you want to change.
Yeah.
We'll check with our guys at Victron. We have a great relationship with them, so we do a lot of work with them.
Yeah, I probably won't change any of the charging settings. I'm interested in other stuff like the UPS functionality that I saw in the inverter, because we have, believe it or not, we have a lot of sensitive electronics in our RV.
Right.
And we've already killed our hard drive system by once. We had some bad power somehow, and our hard drive system died. So our hard drives were fine, but like the case,
the power,
power supply, it just killed it. So yeah, I'm very excited about having a cleaner electricity.
Well, the inverter charger will say it will be pure sine wave, so they're going to give you the cleanest power you can get. So a lot of times, in a lot of cases, it's cleaner than the power you get from the city.
That's good.
Off the inverter technology, especially Victron, is a very precise, clean sine wave. You do a great job of it, and the inverter is compact, has all the features that you want in it. It's a slick system.
Okay. And can we, I know when we're talking about our pieces, can we get everything through you, or are we going to be working with like multiple different companies?
We have to go to you said.
No, well, actually, we sell Victron, so we offer it here.
Right.
We put together packages for people. So if there's viewers out there that say, hey, you know what, if they see that something that you guys got and they want to get it, they're welcome to give us a call and get it, no problem, or buy it, through a link that you guys give them.
Yeah.
The charge controllers or battery monitors or batteries, all that stuff. We try to supply as much as we can. Right now, we don't sell solar panels. I'm working on that. From several different avenues. We're kind of limited on space, but we'll have a new building soon, so we'll probably have a video about that. Maybe we'll have these guys come down here and cover it. It's going to be 3 times the size of where we are now, and we're going to grow our product lines a little bit because we have more room to store stuff now.
Yeah.
Okay. Panels are big.
Yeah. They are.
They're big and they're difficult to ship.
Yeah.
So it's almost better to buy them locally. I mean, people think I can get this great deal on their panels. They don't realize they're going to have to add an extra $500 for shipping to get them to them. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's good to know because that you sell almost all the other products. Because personally, that's why people go to Amazon, right? A single place to get everything you need.
Right.
And so for you guys, we
sell cables. We sell
wow.
fuse kits.
Okay.
We have a beefy fuse kit. Let me tell you what. If anybody out there is using like a momentary fuse they got from a car stereo company, it's not made for continuous use. We have a beefier fuse solution. They're welcome to give us a call about it, but it will definitely handle the kind of loads like you guys are going to run.
Yeah.
We're going to want to put it in. If you guys do this system, we're going to want to use it in that system. It's just got a beefier footprint, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
I've had customers melt them because our batteries are delivering a lot of constant power. They're not like lead acid, you know.
Yeah, we definitely want to protect it because. Like
And we've been doing this stuff for a long time. You know, Dennis and I, we started this company. As a matter of fact, I had a little Facebook memory this week of one of our business plan competitions 5 years ago. A lot less gray, you know. Like Dennis gives me all this gray hair, but
it's mutual.
he just shaves his. But either way, 5 years ago we started this company. But before that, for 7 years, I was running an inverter company, and we were still working together then. So and Dennis also has a big background like in solar cells and things like that. We've been around this industry, so we know the components really well. We know how they function. We know what charge profiles are. We know the settings of everything that's out there.
It was important for us to be involved in all the other accessories, inverters, chargers, everything, because of the fact that lithium is so new to so many people.
Yeah.
And so people have to feel comfortable with the whole system. And so it really made sense for us to provide this service of, well, we know we've tested this component. It works really well with our batteries. And, okay, you have that inverter or this inverter. We know how well everything works with the batteries.
And that's our job, though, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. You know, there's a lot of things going around, and what we like to do is provide a level of service where we can walk you through the whole process, and we'll tell you, hey, look, you know what? You don't need to spend $1,000 on that new product for an inverter or something like that. You can use the one you have now. And that's kind of where our background comes into play, because we have a lot of years of experience around these components.
Yeah.
And you say that's your job, but that's not typical, right? I mean, usually a company will just sell their product and that's all they care about.
We're a battery manufacturer. That's really our job.
Right. Absolutely.
But we want to sell the batteries, and we want happy customers, and we want to make sure that everything works well.
Yeah.
It's called the customer experience, and it's something that we take as crucial as safety around here. The customer experience, the way that we treat our customers, the way we interact with them is very important to us as part of our culture, and that's why people actually coin it the Battleborn family.
Yeah.
That's right. It's amazing how much extra we had ourselves. We had to learn. We had to learn all about alternators. We had to learn
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
we have an alternate. Just so you know, like I don't know if any other lithium battery company out there has this, but we have an alternator test bench. We bring alternators in and test systems like for van builders and all kind of people to test out and make sure that the system that we're putting together with them theoretically will work in the long run and not shorten the lifespan of any of those components in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So we take it real serious.
And the partners that we work with appreciate that, the Victrons and the Magnums, and
that you make sure their products work, and you're not competing against each other because they're selling inverters and you're selling batteries, and if you need batteries, you need an inverter.
It all works. So you guys have given us some very valuable information, but a very important question I have is if I'm going to be able to run my blow dryer and my Instant Pot off of batteries.
Yes.
These are serious questions, guys.
Yes, you can.
Okay,
at the same time.
You can run at the same time if you want to.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You have to multitask sometimes.
You have to multitask. You got to be making dinner and you want to get ready to go,
Yeah.
Look good, feel good, it's important to be able to run that blow dryer.
Yeah, we do a lot of rallies. We got those. We got to.
That's really surprising because sometimes even when we're plugged into 30 amp, I can't even use the blow dryer. It'll flip the breaker. So.
Right. Well.
I was actually expecting you guys to tell me no.
The outside breaker. Yeah.
No, so it could flip the breaker. That's because all the stuff's when you're on the 30 amp service, you're only running half of the coach, right?
Yes.
Now check it out. Here's the great thing about the system you have now. If you put two inverters in, and let's say you are only plugged into a 30 amp service. The other inverter is still going to run the other side of the panel off the battery bank, so that's not going to happen anymore. So you might have to plug in somewhere different, but either way, you have to figure out which outlets go to which side. But you're going to have power on both sides no matter what you're plugged into now. And that's actually something that Dennis wanted to kind of cover was the difference between a 30 and a 50 amp service and how people normally only power one leg of the 50.
Right. So you guys are actually going to have a pretty high power coach. So you're wired for 50 amp service. You're putting two inverters in, 3,000 watt for each leg. This is going to allow you to run either air conditioner off of the batteries when you are boondocking, when you're completely off grid. Well, for that reason, both air conditioners are gonna be able to be accessed by the battery and inverter system. So I would highly recommend that you put a soft start in both of your air conditioners. That way you can actually decide which one you want to run at any time.
And then if somebody else turned it on accidentally, because that air conditioner puts a big load on the inverters just to protect it. We always, like we said, we always like to not shorten the lifespan of anything. So probably a good idea, since you're going to power both legs, to have it on both. That's a great idea, Dennis.
So but we would actually be able to run the air conditioners for a decent amount, because for some, I'm sure we did the math wrong, but we were thinking we'd only put in one soft start and only use that AC because it would drain too much battery.
Well, like I said, the rule of thumb would be for each 100 amp hour battery, it's about an hour for each air conditioner. So, you're looking at over 5 hours, closer to 6 hours for each air conditioner.
That's all your power, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to
turn everything else off, and we'll just use the AC.
Right,
So
but that way, if you can turn on both of them, you don't want to accidentally turn on the one that doesn't have a soft start. That's why you should definitely put one in.
Because like I said, somebody else might turn it on, or it might turn on automatically. Who knows? I don't know if the thermostats are set,
Yeah. Most of the time we're pretty good about that, but
we have forgotten before.
And we do have people that don't RV come stay with us, and just boondocking a couple of weeks ago, we had a friend that had never RV'd came and stay with us. So I'm sure they don't think about stuff like that where we
they just
do.
See it, AC and turn it on.
But I do like the idea of protecting it, and if we want to run it for 20 minutes or something, give that second one to help cool down if it's a really, really hot day. I do like that.
And the cool thing is to be able to, if you have one in your room, right? You have one in the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys are in there, you close the door at night, turn the AC on, and cool that thing off really quick. You sleep really good. Let it run for 4 to 5 hours where you sleep, and then turn it off. You'll be nice and cool in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal when you're in Phoenix, summertime, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I do like the idea of 2 inverters because, like we said, we're very, if we're doing it, I want to make sure I can use anything. I don't want to have to choose which plug to use, or I want to be able to use a microwave if I want to use the microwave. I want to be able to use...
It's your home. You want to make it feel like a home, right?
It is our home.
And that's important to be comfortable. Like I said, the hairdryer is it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to be worried about thinking, I can't run my hairdryer because it's not going to have power. No.
Yeah.
You can use this like a regular house to a certain extent. I mean, of course, you're not going to haul a bunch of extra equipment in there and plug it in. You got what's in the RVs in there,
Yeah. Just to be clear, you can run your hairdryer off of one of the inverters. You can run your Instapot off of one of the inverters. A lot of folks don't need 2 inverters.
Right.
They can get by fine with one inverter, then they plug into the 50 amp service, and they can have the entire code.
And that's what they plug in the 50. They run the other side of the panel off the shore power.
Yeah.
They only actually, that's how motorized RVs are built with a 50 amp service. They only have one side usually powered by an inverter. You guys are in a towable, so it doesn't come with an inverter, but traditionally you only have one side of the panel that's available for boondocking, and that's how most people do it. But more and more people are doing dual inverter systems.
Yeah.
So they want the comfort. They want to be out, they don't want to think about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's our house. We don't want to think about it. I want to power both sides. I don't want to have to even decide now, maybe I don't want to use our convection oven someday.
Right. We just want to have the option for everything. I feel prissy saying that, but because we are full-timers.
I don't think it's prissy at all. I think that's one of the magic of lithium batteries.
You're taking advantage of the technology.
They give you 2 to 3 times the amount of power at 1/5 the weight. You can put it on board. It's not going to send you overweight.
Yeah.
You're not putting a bunch of lead acid on. With lead acid, it's impossible to get that much battery power on board.
Yes.
Like I said, if the 6 batteries, if you're like, hey, you know what, I really could use 2 more batteries.
Yeah.
Give us a call. We'll sell you the 2 more batteries. You get them installed, and you'll have 8 instead of 6. You'll know going forward, but 6 is a really good starting point.
Okay.
Yeah.
That actually just reminded me, what is the weight difference between a lithium battery and a lead acid battery?
In terms of usable power, it's about 20%. So you're
just physical weight.
Well, 31 pounds versus 140 pounds basically is what you get.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So I know a lot of rigs are already over it on the road, and you're shaving off. I mean, you put a lithium bank in, 6 of our batteries, weigh about 180 pounds.
Yeah.
If you had 6 volt lead acids in there, you know how much that would be, right?
Too much.
It'd be like 470 pounds.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize the weight. I thought they would be about the
It's a
same.
couple 100 pounds difference. So
That's one of the main benefits.
That's
Okay.
one of the main benefits, and plus, so that's why we say 2 to 3 times the amount of power in the same amount of space, because you count into effect the weight and the Picard effect. So we can deliver all our power.
Yeah.
Okay.
No matter what the load is. If you drain those batteries in an hour versus 20 hours, it doesn't matter. We're not quoting a 20-hour rate.
Right.
Our capacity is our capacity.
You get the same amp hours.
That's right.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have been awesome. I think those are all of our questions, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So I think, well, right off the bat, we're looking at going with 6 batteries, because you said we want 100 amp hours per wattage.
Right.
And we want
Per
2...
Well, you need 3 batteries to run a 3,000 watt inverter.
3 batteries to run a 3,000 watt inverter, and we
Okay.
want 2 of those, so we're looking at 6 batteries.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then we're looking at the soft starts for the AC, so we can choose. We're looking at fuse kits. I don't know. I'm
Totally, we'll get you the right fuse kit.
Okay.
It's important to have that beefier fuse kit. Trust me on this. You're going to be happy with it.
Safety.
And it's not expensive. It's just, and we also have like a battery guard. We have some different parts that we're gonna put in the system. The battery monitoring from Victron also is very, very good. You're going to talk about the color control, the display panels.
Yeah, for Ray. We'll make sure she can.
Right, and so you'll be able to tap into the back of that. You can remote into that.
Okay.
I think that we've kind of got a really good system lined up. I mean, I really appreciate you guys. Like this isn't easy to get up here. It's a long drive, so we appreciate you taking the time.
Yes. Well, it was also on our way, so along our route this summer. So.
Yeah, the 395 is beautiful. We got to see all of this.
We
Did you get any snow on your way up here?
We stopped in Mammoth before coming here. We went snowmobiling, so it was.
We had a great time.
But we do know that Reno is not a central location for most RVers on their routes. So if people wanted to do a consultation and they weren't in the area, which this is not normal, right? So, but consultations are normal.
Well, yeah. But since you guys were here, I figured, you know what, let's do the consultation on video, because it answers a lot of questions for your viewers, because they're certainly tuned into what you guys are thinking about doing, because they're thinking about doing it. So I want to open that up, that if there's some questions that get asked, feel free to Zoom with us or something like that. We can answer those questions, and you can kind of tag those people back in that video too.
Yeah, we do this over the phone all day long.
Okay.
And we have a sales team that's highly qualified. They've done this a lot, and so you can just call into Battle Born Batteries and talk to someone.
Or you can send us an email on the contact page, and we can schedule a call with you and call you back and be able to do the consultation that way. If people have busy schedules, so we try to make it work as best as we can. We are here from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay.
We usually don't work weekends. We came here to meet you guys because you came all the way to see us. So we're happy to do it. But also,
we appreciate it,
and we appreciate you. So, but we are available. The email is on there 24 hours a day. We try to get back as soon as we can. There's a contact form on our website. Otherwise, it's info@battlebornbatteries.com. We are working on some other ways to do consultations in the future that will be on we're launching a new site soon. So there'll be some extra scheduling tools and things like that on there for people to reach out.
All right.
I want to say we do get a lot of questions on Facebook sometimes.
Okay.
We try to keep the business stuff on the email and keep the marketing questions and things like that through Facebook. So if you get an auto response on Facebook about this isn't really related to this question, just there's an email address and the phone number's on there, so you can contact us directly.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, or if you want to reach out to these guys directly, I will have all of Battle Born's contact information in the description of this video as well. So, thanks, guys.
And if you give us a call, you never know. We still answer the phone too. We're not shy from it, so you never know. You might get me or Dennis on the phone. So But either way, our sales team is perfectly qualified. The people that work here, we have a great team. We've got Jesse, Jody, Ronnie, Kaylin, Angelica. There's people here that can help out. We've got some experts. We've spent a lot of time teaching them, so you know how to answer your questions too. So they're perfectly qualified. But Dennis and I are obviously, if we pick up the phone, are happy to help you out also.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you're still with us, congrats, because it was a long consultation, but we got a ton of valuable information out of it, and I hope that you guys did too. If you are interested in doing a consultation yourself, Battle Born does them over the phone, and I believe if you want to see them, you can even set up some sort of Skype situation. I know Our situation was unique because we just happened to be passing through the area, but you can definitely do your own consultation.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend it because, as you saw, our situation is very unique to us, and your situation will be unique to you. So they will perfectly size out a system for your wants, needs, and your RV.
Exactly. We did talk to them a little bit more after the consultation and firm up what we wanted and what we were looking for. So we did opt to decide to install a whole system with them, and they don't do installs themselves, but since we were in Reno, they recommended a dealer that they really like out there called Sprad's RV. So they actually got us all in touch with each other, and Sprad's agreed to do the installation. So we are very excited about that. We will be recording the installation process as well and making a whole different video about that and kind of going over more in depth all of the products that we decided to get and purchase, so you can see our whole setup and what that's gonna look like. So I'm very excited about it for sure. It'll be so nice not having to run our generator basically 10 hours a day.
Yeah, and you can install the system yourself if you're handy, or choose another installer, and Battleborn is happy to answer any of their questions. But for us, if you've seen any of our other videos, you know that we're not that handy, and we actually just have some time constraints, and so getting it installed is the easiest thing for us.
Yes. Keep an eye out for the install video, and in the meantime, let us know if you have any questions about our consultation or about Battleborn, and we can get those forwarded off to the Battleborn team, or feel free to reach out to them yourself, but let them know that Getaway couple sent you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our Getaway gang. We'll see you next time. Bye guys.